what's up guys? We're back again with the rank 1 player in the world's deck that he uses to outplay everyone in the game. With Inferno Towers to melt any tank in the game, Tornado to activate King Tower early for cost-effective defenses. No one's breaking through a highly skilled player piloting this deck. Whenever the rank 1 player in the world wants to be #1 in the world in global tournaments, he can get it whenever he wants using this deck. The only downside is you have to master it. With so many cheap cards, you're making a ton of decisions quickly. And without a tank like Valkyrie or Knight, sometimes you have to use Bandit on defense. It takes some time getting used to, and that's why I'm jumping into the games without playing this deck in about a year. So as we play today, we'll learn one of the best decks in the game together and laugh at my mistakes along the way, getting better with each game we play. Because once we have a good enough understanding of how to play this deck on defense, we can unleash unbelievably strong direct damage upon our opponents with Goblin Drill and Evolve Bomber plus Tornado. If they're able to stop the direct damage of the drill spawning directly on their tower, they can't stop the Evolve Bomber from splashing onto the cards that they counter the drill with and hitting their tower too. It's time to evolve our skill with the rank 1 deck and assert dominance. And lots of love to everyone that's supporting the channel with credit code SirTag. All right, we got a game against Mr. Turn X. I feel like he's missing the U, but you know what, dude? I love you, and I'll give you the U in the form of some holy Fire Spirit value. So I want to go in for the Fire Spirit paired with the Goblin Drill in most situations, because one of the things that I enjoy doing is getting the Bomber or the Fire Spirit to connect to those units that they're defending the drill with, and then spring onto the tower too. Unfortunately for us, I don't think the Bomber's going to hit all the Spear Goblins. One of them does survive, so I'll go in for Skeleton on it. So overall, pretty good spot for us to be in, especially if we can display another Bomber here in the face of the Wall Breakers. Making no damage is awesome. Then we can go for a Drill, and then we can log on the Ice Spirit and the Goblin Barrel. That's quite good. He's maximized his value with the Ice Spirit, making sure it can tank for a little bit for that. And he's kind of annoying. So you know what? We're going to be even more annoying to you. How about we pull away the Valkyrie before it's able to get damage on top of the Goblins? We gobbled them up, my guy. We're going to go for a Fire Spirit rather early. We want it to connect. And then we're going to go in for a Bandit and then Skellies. So this might be a big misplay on my end. I kind of thought the Bandit would be far enough away, and then it would dash on our opponent's stuff. But I really messed that up. Wow, Bandit, you betrayed me like that. Sometimes that happens, you know? This is the rank 1 player in the world's deck, and it's not really using all defensive cards. It's got cards like Bandit. So if you don't necessarily play them defensively, like as you can see, I don't very frequently. I usually have other cards like a Pekka in my deck if I'm running Bandit. You gotta have to like play better. You're gonna have to figure out how to work around in more, I don't know, unconventional placements. I played really well with the Tornado, but I fumbled the bag on defense. Also, I'm going to go for an Evo Bomber here, actually on defense this time, because I think it's just safer. And then we're going to Tornado here, and then we're going to log on the Goblins on the other side. I think this is going to be overall objectively good for us. I just don't know how good. Because the Bomber staying alive will spring into action and force out extra elixir from our opponent. It's going to double bounce on that, so... Oh wait, I forgot. After the nerf to the Evo Bomber, it doesn't double bounce. It doesn't hit the same target twice. So yeah, that's another thing. I haven't played this deck in a million years. But we're learning it today, and we're going to get better live, showing all the mistakes, all the good plays, all the bad, and hopefully we don't end up sad. I mean, the one amazing thing about this deck for us is if you're matching in a bait, you do have a good matchup. First off, we're going to have Drill that is a reliable win condition to break through your opponent's bait cards. Secondly, one of my favorite things about the deck is the fact that you have double small spells into bait cards. Thirdly, you also end up having a Fire Spirit and Evolve Bomber to crucify the Goblin Barrels. So I'm going to predict the Princess. We're going to make another good play. Imagine us actually making good plays for once in our lives after that miserable Bandit. And then we dominate the rest of the match. So even if you mess up, you're allowed to make slight misplays, or I guess major misplays, into someone that's running bait and still get away with murder. We slaughtered this guy despite not playing that well. As long as, you know, you count the one misplay, evening out the 2 predictions, I think that's pretty good. But hey, we're bound to get used to the Bandit's charging range on defense or die trying. Hopefully not the latter. We got to bounce on to the next game and get better with this deck. Rank 1 in the world for a reason. It does require some skill. Using unconventional methods on defense is not easy, but we're pushing up to 6,700 in the world, and we're only going to get higher today. Let's get it. We're also playing this deck after a long day, so you know, maybe play this at the start of the day when your brain cells are operating at full capacity. Right now, we're kind of firing and trying to make sure that our one brain cell is able to pop off. So I can tell you guaranteed that we're going to get a good trade here if I can activate King Tower with this Royal Ghost. And we're going to do that as fast as possible. Make sure we don't take any damage if we can go for a Fire Spirit here. And the main benefit of doing that is if you don't play into Royal Giant and you're matching into like a Pekka deck, which I think we're playing into right now, every single iteration of their bridge spam will be bouncing into multiple towers targeting it. Besides like a card like an Electro Wizard that, holy dude, you're not real. You didn't just make that prediction on me. Genuinely well played. I'm not even doing that sarcastically. The bandits are hugging it out in the middle, so that's always fun. And him cycling the battle ram there makes me a little bit bewildered at his plays, but hey, we'll take it. We'll take it. We should be good to go here. I'm going to go for a Fire Spirit to pull that to the other side. And then we don't have to deal with the Royal Ghost attacking the tower that is going to be a little bit lower. It will attack the higher HP tower. And he's going to go minions. Is he going to rage? Is he going to drop something? Yeah, of course he does. The King Tower help it out. These minions will die really quickly. He doesn't get any damage. I think I played that reasonably well. I knew what he was going to do. So I was like, hey, if we activate King Tower, we're chilling. Also, we got to get a hate counter out here because I don't know how many times I've said that, but it's been a lot. So we're going to go in for a bandit, and then I'm going to go in for a bomber. I think that's going to be our best method of defending this. No! Wait, yes! Yes! That was awesome. I like that. He wasted arrows. He thought the bomber would survive. I thought the bomber would survive. We didn't know what Clash Royale's plans were to screw me over, but it happened. All right, so we can log on the Royal Ghost so it doesn't get a hit on our tower, even though he's going to get the pancake. He is feeding the ground. He's like that person that just feeds all the pigeons at the park. He's doing that right now. Okay, so another reason why this deck is remarkably strong in the meta is it counters Pekka decks. If you play into Pekka and you use an Inferno Tower, imagine the remarkable positive elixir trade that you're going to get. It's going to be a +2 trade. So we're going to make that happen real quick. Tornado on this. If he doesn't have an answer, he's going to be very sad, sir, which I don't think he'll have a good answer for it. I can Fire Spirit here, and then I can go in for the bandit counter as well. And we're going to pull back the barbarians. I would have activated King Tower, but I already did, so it didn't matter. We're going to go for a tornado here. Pull his stuff to the side. Go in for a evolved skeletons and then Inferno Tower up top. I don't necessarily know if we're going to be able to kill the ghost easily, but it does work out, so we'll take it. Wait, are evolved skeletons going to make magic happen on the right side? I mean, they're still alive. How are those things still alive? What the heck? This is unfair. This is unfathomable, but we'll take it. We're also going to go in for the bomber and the bandit counter push. I don't think we're going to lock onto his tower, but the bandits will hug it out yet again. We're going to log here, and I got to go skeletons because I am scared of level 16 cards. They're not fun to play into. All right, I'm going to go for Evil Bomber because I don't trust this man. I'm going to tornado as well because I think he's going to go bandit. He did not drop it in the spot I thought he would at all. We're going to eat the damage. We're going to go for skeletons afterwards. I didn't trust him. I thought he would go for pre-rage because he seemed like that type of fancy sir. We're going to Inferno Tower a little bit later. A Fire Spirit here. And then we should be able to counter all of his cards because the best thing about what's happening here is the Electro Wizard's not targeting on what it wants. They're really targeting on the tower instead. So just log this to guarantee it dies. Even if you decide to do some crazy shenanigans here, we are fine. We are A-okay, my guy. We go for a bomber and a Fire Spirit. And the one thing that you guys are probably noticing is like the defense with this deck is not easy. A lot of times what I'm doing is mechanical plays, and if I mess it up, I'm going to lose. Like if I try to snipe this right now, that would be a failure. So I'm just going to go for a bandit here instead. We'll go for skeletons. We're trying to cycle as much as we possibly can here, bombarding our opponent with cards that he doesn't want to play into. Since he cycles the Pekka in the back, I think we can just tornado and eventually lock onto the tower. He's going to arrows that. There's no doubt he arrows that. What is he doing? What is he doing? What is my guy doing out here? Why did he let that happen? All right, well, we'll take the trade. We'll get some good value with an Inferno Tower into the Pikachu, and we're going to Fire Spirit as well. So overall, like, can't complain. This is definitely a really good spot to be in, as long as I'm able to defend this. And I should be able to if I go in for a good log, keep the Inferno Tower alive, going for more drills. You guys know the drill. I mean, drill is the thrill of winning in Clash Royale. So we're going to tornado this back. We should be able to clean this up with an Evo Bomber. And then Skelly's here as well. I mean, he's playing this extremely well. Dude! Wow. Raged up Barbarians from the Battle Ram evolution go crazy. Great game from our opponent. You can win every game you play. And, you know, we're only going to get better with this deck. It's very difficult to play on defense when you're trying to micromanage everything that's flinging at you. And sometimes we'll mess up, but that's part of getting better at the game. I haven't played this deck in a long time, and every single game, I feel like my skill level is improving. There's no doubt if my micro interactions on defense were slightly better there, I would have won the game. But let's keep improving our skill and our win rate and drill on to the next one. So we cut out a couple wins that were actually a little bit too easy, and now we're matching into a ranked 21 player in the world. I like showing losses like the Pekka game because it was more fun. It was like, hey, I made mistakes. I could have gotten better. This is definitely a big game that goes in the video today too. Regardless of win or loss, we want to play our best out here. So I could maybe just go skeletons here so we don't take damage against that. I timed the skeleton, so even after the earthquake animation was still on the arena, it didn't hit the skellies. So it was pretty good for us. And you know the best thing about this matchup is having Drill with Fire Spirit. It'll force out a lot of responses from our opponent. Hopefully, he goes in for a log on the Fire Spirit or the Drill earlier, giving us guaranteed value because we can tornado on the skeletons. This is really risky, but I think it will pay off if I can go for a log plus bomber to kill his piggies. I played that pretty nicely. I knew exactly what he was going to do, and I leveled up my aggression. But here's the thing, guys. This is annoying. This is not what we wanted to see at all. I am actually maybe going to get finessed because bro has an Archer Queen, and that thing is a heat-seeking missile on my tower. You know what? We didn't take that much damage. I'm vibing with it. I like our situation now. We're in a good spot. We figured out his deck, and he knows ours. So our strat here has to be going Drill, but mixing up the placement, because if we drop it directly in front of the tower, it's the most optimal spot, because it will immediately get on the tower with the Goblin spawning. The only downside is he could predict it with a cannon, or he could drop his cannon off to the side like that too. I would love to get some more value, but it is what it is. I don't want to go and overcommit here. I do likely want to go in for a bandit, and then go in for evolved skeletons with Fire Spirit and other stuff if we get the chance. Also doing dual lane pressure is absolutely optimal. So we're going for our skeletons here. We're going to split them up, and we're going to log on his skellies. Then we're going to go in for a Fire Spirit, go in for the Drill, and see how this goes. I do want to activate King Tower with some of the piggies if possible. That would be phenomenal because the piggies are very low health. That's what we want to do when his piggies are low, because then it's easier for us to get the King Tower activation and not take as much damage from the piggies that we don't pull. So now we're currently in a pretty sticky spot because I need to go in for an Inferno Tower to counter pigs, which isn't really ideal. We're going to try to get like a counter here with just a Fire Spirit skeletons and barely spend any extra elixir. But at the same time, this guy's playing so freaking well. He's going to go for a Royal Delivery here, and I think we can tornado on that. So if we play decently with this bomber, we might be able to get a couple connections on the tower and maybe get our advantage back. Let's go. All right, so we're going to have to get Bandit down here. He's going to log the skeletons, which just don't come down. Very nice for us. We can get a bomber here. Can we just kill the overpowered queen? That's the question here. Do we kill an overpowered card that has a 1 elixir ability that can delete everything in the game? The answer is not resoundingly nicely, but we do actually end up cleaning it up. The piggies will prioritize my tower here, and he's got Earthquake, so he will deal more damage than me. The only thing that I have available for me is the bomber that allows me to catch up. The drill probably won't connect to this guy. It's just not going to happen. We're going to tornado on the skeleton, so we don't have to worry about those. And then I think we have to use bomber on defense with an Inferno Tower. So we have to drop our Inferno Tower early, and then we can go bomber off to the side. Probably want a Fire Spirit as well. Should be enough damage to sizzle the piggies and not lose the game. The only downside is, what if this guy goes in for a good Archer Queen at the bridge at the right moment and screws me? The other thing is, I need to kill this delivery, because the delivery tanking is going to be a problematic position for us. Rank 21 player in the world is not messing around. He is gonna be a very annoying dude. You know, Archer Queen, we can maybe kill this with a log and a tornado. I don't know. We'll have to try. If we can get a Fire Spirit down here and a bomber, I think this is our best play, because we don't want to overcommit and go for an Inferno Tower. Nice. Yo, the bomber's going to die here to a delivery for sure, but I'm okay with this. Wait, I cycled skeletons instead of dropping a log. Oops. Will it matter? I don't know. I think the goblins are on the tower. Let's go. Woo! We sacrificed the skeletons. We bamboozled our opponent. He saw the skeletons die to the log, and he's like, what is this moron doing? He played so well for the entire earlier part of the game. Then he just got confused by my stupidity. That's what I'm talking about, guys. We cut out a couple easy wins against top 800 players, and then we mashed into a ranked 21 player and beat him. After making a couple misplays, learning the deck at the start, beating someone that's ranked 21 and 61 in the world feels phenomenal. We're getting a lot better with the deck despite that evolved skeletons mess up. And if we continue to play this well, I don't know where we're going to go, but we're definitely going to become a lot better after all the games today. I like highlighting my moronic moments because, you know, that's how I remember them. It's a little bit of a memory scar for each misplay that I do. I'm like, never do that again, Jake. Okay, we're playing against recruits with a annoying Dagger Duchess. It's not necessarily what our drill wants to face in most situations, but we could play this phenomenally and just get bombers down and outcycle his arrows, because he's probably going to have arrows if I had to guess. He'll most likely arrows this bomber. So we're going to go in for the bandit to go and pull back his stuff. And who would have thunk? Royal Hogs again. All right, so we can tornado here. Pull most of the piggies to the middle. Going for skeletons and Fire Spirit afterward. and maybe shut down that stupid amount of recruits. We have 2 bandits on the same side. I don't know if that's ever something that I've done in single elixir in my life, but it shows the cycling capability of this deck, which is really awesome, honestly. And with the King Tower activated, I feel compelled to go in for another skill drill. It's not really a skillful drill, but that's what we're going to say it is. We're also going to go and plant down a bomber here as well because we want to be able to bash whatever cards he counters us with. Okay, 100 P, not something I want to respond to. If you're cycling a fly machine on the other side where you don't have any of your damage, I don't even care about it. I do want to do dual lane pressure, but I don't necessarily know if I'm able to cycle 2 drills or anything like that. And it seems like if I split evolved skeletons, it's just really hard to make that happen. We're still going to do it anyway, because if I don't do it, he's just going to arrows and I'll feel like an idiot. So I think that the dual lane pressure that you do with this drill deck is maybe go bandit and then go for a drill on the other side. And that's how it works. I mean, Evo Bomber, it's definitely going to die to arrows, but hey, it's okay. Yo, the Fire Spirit's going to connect. The Evo Skeletons are going to start flowing. And I don't know if this guy's going to call me a fool, but this might do something. It didn't do anything. That sucked. We're really hoping we would force out arrows. And we did not get it. Spoiler alert, we did not get the arrows at all. So we're going to have to go in for a bandit here. And then we're going to go in for the bomber afterwards. And then we're probably going to lose to a whole bunch of shenanigans on the right side. I mean, I don't see any way where we clean this up effectively at all. Wow, that was horrible, but not as bad as it could have been. We didn't lose the tower, so I guess we'll take it. I'm going to go in for a drill with the Fire Spirit. It's going to die. The Fire Spirit will just die every time. Hopefully he's bad and lets it connect to something. All right, well, not bad for us. The only bad thing is the fact that he's got arrows, so if I am somehow able to defend this, I might win the game. I don't think I will, but it's always possible. We're going to go drill, skeletons. Maybe we can go Fire Spirit here. Cycle Evo Bomber on the other side. Tornado this all back, and maybe just doesn't see the bomber behind the tower. We're literally hiding the bomber behind the tower. It's kind of working. It did counter everything. We just had to spend our entire elixir bank. That's the issue. It's not fun spending your entire elixir bank on something. I'm not going to lie. All right, we're going to get him to arrows, so the skeletons might be able to thrive. We're going to go bandit as well. He's definitely going to go in for a bar barrel whenever he gets the ability to do that. Bro, fireballed on the bandit. The bomber's still alive. What is happening in this game? The bomber's locking onto the tower. Clash Royale, what is cooking right now? We beat a barbarian barrel arrows deck when we only have bomber as our sole way of cleaning up recruits and all of his royal hogs spamming at us every single second. So, you know what? I'll take that W. That wasn't an easy match, but constantly keeping up the offense meant that he wasn't able to go in for offensive pushes on us because he was fully focused on defending, because if he didn't, he was just going to lose the game to the drill. 3 wins in a row, baby. Love beating top-ranked players because it just brings back the confidence. Let's lock in for the last match of the day. Whoa, this guy's got a pink name in the banner. He really is toxic. He's feeling the Dark Goblin darts on his name. That's insane. But yeah, we have to play our best here because I'm feeling comfortable with the deck. It's time to prove it to y'all and to myself. I think that it's gotten a lot better. Let's see where we've ended up for the last game of the day. I need to go in for the bomber here. I don't necessarily love this positioning, but I might be able to counter the Pekka without using our Inferno Tower. Okay, definitely want to drop our Inferno Tower here. I'll Fire Spirit as well up top, and I can go for a log on the Ram Rider. I would have ideally stopped the Ram Rider from charging, but it's still not going to deal damage to us anyway, because went for arrows. It's a bit of an overextension if you ask me. We'll go in for a drill here with skeletons, and I'm going to do dual lane pressure. The way that this deck works, I think, is you want to apply pressure on both sides. When the opponent's down elixir, it's hard for them to defend everything simultaneously. Like, sure, you could have Tornado with the Dark Goblin Drill deck counter, but I didn't expect that. Like, I'm okay taking, you know, bad trades in certain situations where my cards are not supposed to get countered by that. Like, most of the time when you see a Dark Goblin with a Pekka, it's going to be more of a weird version of the deck. Not going to have Tornado very frequently, but if you see Electro Dragon, you could expect Tornado every time. And even though he activated King Tower, he took a sizable chunk of his tower down already. So I'm okay with that. I could also go in for a Evolved Bomber if he uses his arrows like so, but I don't think the Ram gets a hit, maybe? Oh, yes! Let's go. After the nerf to Ram Rider, it is very different. It feels different. So I was like, you know, I'm going to risk it. It's only been, you know, a week or so, but I know that the Ram Rider is weaker than before is what I'm trying to say. All right, we're going to just eat the damage here, and we're trying to go in for an Evolved Bomber, because if you think about it, guy has to Pekka this. He's got to Pekka this. And then we use the Evo Bomber and splash onto it because he doesn't have arrows in cycle, and he had to Evo Bomber counter with the Pekka. He's like locked into a terrible trade. So I'm proud of how I played that. I knew exactly his card cycle, and I knew what he was forced to do, because if we Bandit and Bomber, he doesn't have enough elixir in the book to do anything else. So we're going to Inferno Tower here, and then we're going to go in for a log to stop the Ram Rider. This is what we were intending to do earlier. Could work rather nicely now. I'm also going to try to apply dual lane pressure, even though this isn't really necessarily meant to do much. I'm hoping we can force extra elixir on the other side, or make him drop cards really far ahead that he didn't want to do. Now we can go in for the drill directly on the tower and get some goblins on that, and force a Dark Goblin. Phenomenal stuff. We can Inferno Tower a little bit early, because we don't want to leak elixir, and then we can log on all this stuff. What the heck? This is one of the most random decks I've ever seen in Clash, bro. Insane that bro is going to have Earthquake with Pekka. Like, literally one of the few cards that we would ever be scared of when we have Inferno Tower or building. Of course, I mess up, but he also messes up. So, the fact that he Dark Goblined into that log made me feel pretty good. I'm going to go for Evolved Skeletons, and we'll see if we can go in for an aggro play with the Skeletons reaching the tower, possibly. Please. I think that was such a smart decision because I knew he was going to NATO, and then we didn't even get it. Dang it, man. I thought I outpaced you and outplayed you. But maybe the Bomber can splash onto the tower if we're lucky enough. Believe in the heart of the cards, Yugi boy! Yes, sir! We out-toxicked the Toxic Sir. Even though he had it in his name, he got put to shame. I might not have played my best at the start, but we've incrementally got better, and it's a beautiful thing to see with this deck. Every game you play, you'll learn more, and your skill level will increase. Which makes a lot of sense since the rank 1 player in the world is constantly playing. Drill the like button, subscribe for more daily content, and have an amazing rest of your day.